Today, Abuja didn't just wake up to another court session, it woke up to an earthquake. One of the most powerful legal figures Nigeria has produced in the last decade found himself standing where he once sent others, the dock. And this time, the story isn't just big, it's explosive. Early this morning, February 3, 2026, the Federal High Court in Abuja became the center of national attention as former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, walked in alongside his son, Abdul-Aziz. No convoys. No speeches. Just two men facing 5 heavyweight criminal charges filed by the Department of State Services. Terrorism financing. Aiding and abetting terrorism. Illegal possession of firearms. Charges so severe that many Nigerians had to read the headlines twice to be sure they were real. Let's be clear, this isn't some random former official. This is the man who once controlled Nigeria's legal machinery. The same man who decided who was prosecuted, who wasn't, and how far cases went. Seeing him on the receiving end of the law has shocked even the most cynical observers. And the deeper you go into this case, the darker and more disturbing it becomes. This didn't start today. The warning signs had been piling up quietly for months. Back in December 2025, the EFCC made the first bold move. Malami, his son, and his wife were taken in over allegations that shook the country. Investigators accused them of running an elaborate scheme to conceal roughly 8.7 billion Nigerian nairas in public funds, allegedly laundered through a web of companies and bank accounts over a 10-year stretch, from 2015 to 2025. 16 counts followed: conspiracy, money laundering, financial manipulation. And then came the asset bombshell. A federal high court ordered the freezing of 57 properties linked to the Malami family. Not houses, empires. Hotels. Schools. A university. Estates. Factories. Massive parcels of land scattered across Abuja, Kebbi, Kano, and Kaduna. Valued at over 23 billion Nigerian nairas. The scale alone left Nigerians asking the same question: how does a public servant accumulate this much? Then came January 7, 2026. A moment that felt like a plot twist pulled straight from a political thriller. Justice granted Malami, his wife, and his son bail, 500 million Nigerian nairas each. After weeks behind bars, Malami finally perfected his bail and stepped out of Kuch Correctional Center. But freedom lasted seconds. Waiting outside were over 50 DSS operatives. The moment his foot touched the outside ward, they moved in. No delay. No explanation. He didn't reach his car. He didn't greet supporters. He was taken straight back into custody. Days earlier, his own media aide had warned that DSS officers were positioned around the prison, ready to rearrest him instantly. Many dismissed it as drama. It turned out to be prophecy. Fast forward to today, and the charges unveiled are even more unsettling than anyone imagined. The first count hits Malami directly, and it cuts deep. Prosecutors allege that while serving as Attorney General, he knowingly enabled terrorism financing by deliberately refusing to prosecute non-terror financiers, despite case files landing directly on his desk. This is the same man who once stood before cameras and swore that no individual connected to terrorism would ever be protected under his watch. Now, that promise is being thrown back at him in a courtroom. The remaining charges tie both father and son together. According to investigators, a Storm Magnum firearm, 16 live rounds of ammunition, and 27 spent cartridges were discovered in their residence in Banin, Kebbi. No license. No authorization. The weapons were allegedly found during the EFCC raid in December and later transferred to the DSS as the investigation widened. What were they doing there? Who were they meant for? Those questions are now part of an unfolding legal battle. But the terrorism angle doesn't stop there, not even close. In December 2025, a retired Nigerian Army general dropped a revelation that stunned the security community. The general, who once led a counter-terrorism task force personally approved by former President Buhari, claimed that during investigations into Boko Haram's financial networks, Malami's name surfaced in connection with certain suspects. Even more disturbing, the general alleged that Malami interfered directly by sidelining a senior lawyer who was aggressively pushing to prosecute nearly 48 individuals linked to terrorism financing. And then there's the UA list. In 2021, the United Arab Emirates released a document naming 38 individuals and 15 entities suspected of funding terrorist groups operating in Nigeria. That list landed in Nigeria's hands while Malami was Attorney General. Investigators are now asking a chilling question: was that list acted upon or quietly buried? In court today, both Malami and his son pleaded not guilty to every charge. The prosecution wasted no time requesting that they be remanded in DSS custody. The defense fired back immediately, asking for bail. But Justice Abdul Malik shut that down fast, making it clear that only formal written bail applications would be considered. No shortcuts. No favors. The case was adjourned to February 20th for bail hearings and the formal commencement of trial. Malami insists this is all a politically motivated witch hunt by the current administration, a vendetta dressed up as justice. His supporters agree. His critics say this is long overdue accountability finally catching up with power. Either way, one thing is certain: this case is no longer just about one man. It's about how power was used, who was protected, and what really happened behind closed doors at the highest levels of government. Nigeria is watching. The world is watching. And every new detail is raising the stakes even higher. So what do you think is really going on here? Is this justice finally breaking through Nigeria's culture of impunity, or are we witnessing a much bigger political war playing out through the courts? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this story, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Turn on your notifications, because this saga is only just beginning.